Good afternoon or good day, everyone. I'm Captain Gaurav Rana from Sea and Beyond, and it's a pleasure and an honor to have Captain Amresh Jha with us. Captain Amresh Jha is director in Kanoo Shipping Agency, and he's had a shore career, a very distinguished one, wherein he's worked with IRS, he's worked with Williamson, he's worked with DG, in and the purpose of this discussion is to understand the career opportunities for mariners in shipping agency, right? And in his current avatar, we'll check with him on what a role could a mariner can play and what are the career progression over there. So thank you so much, Captain Amresh, for being part of this discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank
Right.
you, Captain Gaurav, for inviting me. And yes, lovely to be here, be part of this discussion. And I must congratulate you for taking a lot of efforts in kind of providing the valid domain knowledge to the uh, people who are into the shipping or who are new to the shipping or who wish to start the career in shipping.
Thank you so much, Captain Amresh, for your kind words. And it's because of association with the experts like you that we are doing. We are motivated to do what we do. So, a few questions which we have as well. So, if you can just quickly give us an overview of what a marine agency does, please.
Okay. Thank you, Captain Gaurav. So, what a marine agency does, they basically become your eyes and ears on ground. That is the prime role that an agent does. So suppose your vessel is going to any unknown place and you being owner or operator or a manning house sitting in India would like to ensure that everything goes as smooth as possible, and you cannot be everywhere. So you need someone whom you can trust. You need someone who can work exactly like you or can think exactly like you. And that is where the agents come into the picture, because a good agent basically puts themselves in owners or the operator's shoes, and they kind of put themselves in center and start working like what as an owner or what is their principal would like him to do. So what agency does is basically on ground, he or the agents are your eyes and ears and exactly carry out the work that he is assigned for. Now, those assignments can differ based on the principles, and that all details we have also shared in your blog, in C and Beyond blogs. So that could be full agency, wherein they can take inward clearances, outward clearances, cargo clearances. So in that, the entire scope of the ship agency domain covers in full agency. And then there could be a parts job. You can have only a manning. A manning company would like probably have two people sign on and two people sign off. So that is also an agent job. So that comes under the husbandry jobs. Then you could have, let's say, some surveyor doing some inspections. So those again can come under the technical services. Maybe you will have some fire safety inspections, some class inspections. So those are the various jobs that one agent can get and that he needs to perform on ships based on the appointment.
Absolutely. Well said, sir. So agents are essentially the ears and eyes of the owner or whomsoever the person that appoints the agent. So very well said. Thank you.
Exactly. That is the whole soul game.
Absolutely. And now moving on, people see when they're on a ship, an agent comes and he, advises, supports the ship staff. And maybe a few persons might think that, especially on the mariner side, they would want to enter into the marine agency profession. What level could they enter? What is the job that they could do? If you could advise, if they could enter, say, for a second officer, third officer level, or at a chief officer master level, if you could advise on that, please.
Okay. So to be honest, Captain Gaurav, anyone can enter agency domain. Need not to be a mariner itself. I know many non-mariners also doing very good. So if I have to advise someone entering into shipping agency domain, and I would suggest chief officer. It doesn't mean that second officer cannot start. Second officer can also start. Even cadet can start. But when I say chief officer means if you have worked as a chief officer on board ship, so basically you have worked on a management level on the sailing side. So when you come ashore, you will get a certain launch pad to start with. You don't have to start from the scratch because industry will perceive that you have the basic knowledge of shipping operation. So it will be easier for you to take up when you can join as a manager sorts of thing, and you can take the career progression accordingly. So I would suggest chief officer, second engineers, but that doesn't mean that second officer and third engineer cannot join. They all can join. Even non-mariners can join. But only thing then they have to start as executive, senior executive, assistant manager, deputy manager. This is how the progression goes.
Okay. And so, what designation would I say a chief officer join at generally, and what's the typical role that they play? So, once they join an agency, do they have a team? Whom do they report to generally, and what's the role that they play?
So I will assume a chief officer having 10 years of selling experience, I mean, including chief officer, 10 years of selling experience, he will join as a manager. So manager, basically manager, when I say manager means manager for that particular port.
Okay.
So a agency house can have, let's say 20 odd offices or 20, like India has got, let's say 25 or 26 major and minor ports where the EXIM trades takes place. So there are some major ports, about 12 major ports India has, and then there are some non-major ports, but equally bigger than the major ports, such as Mundra and all. So it depends upon if you are from the container background, probably your company can, where you are joining, they can put you in Mundra as a manager. And then there would be, let's say, 5 to 6 people under you. So you can join as a deputy manager or a manager. When you have sailed as a chief officer, I'm talking. And then you will report to a manager over that area. So suppose somebody will be West Coast head. And so you will report to that. And then West Coast head will report to the MD, or depending upon the the chart, the organizational chart that company has. But generally in India, we have seen it's divided into two parts, East and West Coast. You join as a port manager and then you report to the East and West respectively. And then you keep growing and then you can become East or West Coast head and then you become country head, like that.
We have persons like you have become directors in companies who are managing the.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's aspirational for everyone, that you can
Yes.
be a mariner and you can come to the top echelons of the.
Yes, you can become, like I was before Kanoo, I was heading Williamson also in India. So yes, you can definitely become country head, and then sky is the limit. You can become head of the group also. So this is only we're talking about India.
Correct, correct. Nice, nice. Right, sir. So just one final last question is, a person may be confused at one point of time. He may want to get into ship management, he may want to get into surveying, he may want to get into agency, he may want to get into commercial. What's the right skills, right personality for a person to join agency? And what are your thoughts on this, please?
So my one advice would be, irrespective of whichever profession that one want to pursue in shipping, especially for agency, that one thing that I have understood, communication is the key. If you are a good communicator, you are a good agent. What happens is, what we have seen is that most of the problems can be solved if you are proactively communicating with your principals or with the port authorities or with various authorities that you are communicating with. The problem happens when the proactiveness is missing, whether it is within your team or with your principals or whomever you are coordinating with. So to me, one, that attitude or the knowledge, skills, whatever you would like to put it through, the one thing that I would like to say is that communication is the key in most of the things, but in agency it is a paramount. You cannot avoid that. If NOR has to be tender on arrival, it has to be tender on arrival. If certain notices has to be given 3 hours, 2 hours, it has to go. An agent has to perform that. There is no excuse. So proactive communication is the key for a good agent, I would say.
Great, great. And that makes a lot of sense, because time is money. You cannot lose even 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Downtime cannot happen. Makes sense.
Yes, and I would just say one thing, Captain Gaurav, that I have seen. Suppose you are expecting some delay or you are expecting some issues in port, and if you have informed your principal that okay, on so and so port, I'm expecting some delays for your vessel. Your vessel may arrive, but there is a delay, there is congestion, or maybe in port you have this issues you are likely to encounter. And if you have informed them before, they are well prepared. Master is well prepared. Company is well prepared, and they are ready to face their challenges, and it goes so smooth because they are ready, they are not expecting anything unexpectedly is coming. So as I said, proactive communication is the key. You cannot be reactive in this. Of course you do have to react at times, but I would say if it is planned well, if it is known well, all your work, everything is planned, and then you have advised them this is the process, this is how you have to work, it goes smooth. And that is what an agent is appointed for, that you make sure that the ship is sailed smoothly. They don't want any kind of hiccups, and if you have done that, you have done your job.
Right, sir. Very well said. Thank you so much, Captain Amresh, for your time. And I'm sure that these thoughts from you, advice from you will be very helpful for the persons who are listening to the video. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Captain Gaurav, for having me. Thanks a lot, CN Beyond as well.
Thank you.